Here.
President McCarthy.
Here.
Council Butcher.
Here.
Council Newmiller.
Here.
Council Sutherland.
Here.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do we make a motion on this? At this time, we're going to do swear in the Mills City Treasurer, Nathan Romwell. Can the clerk and the treasurer please come forward?
Okay, I will now administrate the oath. Please raise your right hand and read the top paragraph.
I, Nathan Romrell, do solemnly swear that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Wyoming, and that I have not knowingly violated any law related to my election or appointment or caused it to be done by others, and that I will discharge the duties of my office with fidelity.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Pen and paper is permanent.
No going back now, Nate.
Yeah, actually, I don't see where.
Do you want to come up and sign it really quick?
All right, this time I'm going to close the public, or the regular city council meeting and open the public hearing. I now declare the public hearing open for the consideration for proposed zoning map. The hearing will be conducted in accordance with state statutes, Mills Council procedures, and other applicable laws. The hearing has been set and advertised in accordance with the statutes. I would ask those individuals who wish to address the council on this issue to approach the lectern and state your name for the record. Do we have a report from staff on this proposed zoning map item?
Yes, Madam Mayor and Council. With the adoption of the updated land development regulations for the city in July, we did an update of the official city zoning map with the new district names and district categories. The previous zone districts were generically named in broad and permitted uses, for example, the established residential and developing residential, and the new code has more specific zone districts along with better defined intents and purposes for each district. Staff has spent considerable time reviewing the previous zoning map to ensure that properties were placed into districts with the same permitted uses as previous districts under the old Title 17. And I've attached the updated zoning map for review and approval by council prior to official publication.
Thank you. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to speak in favor of this item? Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to speak in favor of this item? And for a third time, is there anyone in the audience who wishes to speak in favor of this item? Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to speak in opposition of this item? Is there anyone in the audience wishing to speak in opposition of this item? And for a third time, is there anyone in the audience wishing to speak in opposition of this item? There being no others to speak for or against this item, I now declare this public hearing closed. I now declare the public hearing open for consideration for a deviation variance to the required 5-foot side yard setback in the C1 general commercial zone district for property legally described as portion of lots 1 and 2, block 5, Kiss Kiss subdivision, also known as 306 Southwest Wyoming Boulevard. This hearing will be conducted in accordance with state statutes, Mills Council procedures, and other applicable laws. The hearing has been set and advertised in accordance with the statutes. I would ask those individuals who wish to address the council on this issue to approach the lectern and state your name for the record. Do we have a report from staff on this item as far as deviation variance goes?
Yes, Madam Mayor and Council, the deviation request is, a deviation to the minimum side yard setback for a commercial structure located in the C1 General Commercial District. The district establishes a minimum side yard setback of 5 feet. And the deviation is for a request to add an additional work bay onto the west side of the existing building, which would encroach onto the side yard setback, requiring a deviation of 5 feet. Deviations per the land development regulations are not intended to be granted frequently. The regulations state that the applicant must clearly show that the request is due to very unusual characteristics of the property and that it satisfies the deviation standards. Evaluation of an applicable special circumstance is a matter to be determined from the facts and specifics of each application, and the following criteria are to be considered for a deviation request. That the proposed development is compatible with existing and proposed or expected land uses in the surrounding area, that the deviation results in the creation of project amenities that would not be available through strict adherence to the regulations, i.e. additional open space, protection of natural resources, etc. The granting the deviation would not adversely affect the interests of the public or interests of residents or property owners in the vicinity, and that the deviation is the minimum required or needed for customary enjoyment of the property. At their November 7th, 2024 meeting, the Planning and Zoning Commission did recommend denial of this deviation request. And staff recommendation is, after reviewing the criteria to be considered, when evaluating a request, the applicant has not demonstrated clear evidence of a special circumstance that would unreasonably prevent them from using their property for a permitted use. And staff also recommends denial of the variance request. And I can answer any questions.
Thank you. Does council have any questions? So at this time, is there anyone in the audience who wishes to speak in favor of this item? If so, please approach the lectern and state your name for the record.
Hello, my name is Pete Maxwell. I'm one of the owners of Hanson Quick Lube. We're seeking the deviation to build a 4th work bay. The way our land's set up now, we don't have the room to build a 4th work bay to extend our options of service. To kind of start from the beginning, we'd reached out to Mr. DeVore before the property to the south, north, and west were on the market, and asked if we could buy them. I, at that time, wanted to put a second Peaches location in Mills, and then also add on to Hanson. At that time, he had said that if he were to sell, he wanted to sell everything, all or nothing, with the old Peterbilt building and all the land surrounding us, which is north of $4 million. That kind of doesn't make sense for us. We can't make that kind of purchase. We don't need that much room. Once the lots to the north and south actually hit the market, we called again. Same thing, they said they wanted to sell it all or nothing. They wouldn't piece it off. After our meeting with Planning and Zoning, they recommended that we reach out to Mr. DeVore and give him a call personally and ask if he would do a minor boundary adjustment. I reached out to him a few times. I got him on the phone once, and he was familiar with the meeting we had before, and he didn't seem really interested in doing that, but he said he'd call me back. He hasn't called me back, and I tried to call him a couple other times, left messages with him stating that, you know, we want to do this minor boundary adjustment or possibly purchase 5 feet of this property, and I haven't received any calls back on any of that stuff. We don't need to go all the way to the property line. We could probably leave about 18 inches there, but we are seeking that about 4 feet extra with that, from that 5 feet deviation, to fit that work bay that we're looking to add.
One of my questions, I'm sure you've explored this thought already, is if you acquire those two, which I realize is probably not on the table, but just a thought process here. If you acquire those two little portions to the south, could you then make your building L-shaped and do the bays, or another bay or two that way?
Yeah, if he's willing to sell that portion to the south, but like I said, we've asked him a couple times on that because I had some other projects kind of wanting to go there, and so we're kind of landlocked with current situation.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Does council have any questions?
When was the last time you spoke with Fred?
Bill is who I talked to, and it was last Tuesday, excuse me, yeah, last Tuesday I talked to him on the phone, and then he said he was in the process of, I think, doing some kind of sellout with his current company. He's super busy, and he's like, I don't have time for this right now. And I explained to him, he's like, I'll call you back on Friday, and when I didn't get a call back on Friday, I left him a voicemail, so I've left him 2 voicemails, and I just kind of figured at this point he's probably just, you know, like, if he doesn't return the call, he doesn't want to make something happen. It's kind
What's Bill's last name?
of DeVore.
It's Fred's brother.
Oh, okay.
There's 3 of them.
Oh.
3 or 4 of them that own it.
I see. Okay. Okay. Any other questions from council? No questions. Okay. I think you answered pretty well for us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Do we have anyone else who wishes to speak in favor of this item? And for a third time, do we have anyone who wishes to speak in favor of this item? Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to speak in opposition of this item? Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to speak in opposition of this item? And for a third time, is there anyone in the audience who wishes to speak in opposition of this item? There being no more to speak for or against this item, I now declare the public hearing for this closed. This time I'm going to reopen the regular council meeting. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
How does council vote?
Aye.
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 Motion passes. At this time, we're going to go into open discussion. If you would like to address the council on any topics, please approach the lectern, state your name for the record, and please be mindful of the 5-minute timer on the clock on the wall over there. And if you have anything to present the council, please hand it to the clerk. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to speak at this time in open discussion?
Do you have something you want to talk
I'm
about?
not even sure. I've never done this before. This is the first time I've ever been in here.
Yeah.
This is the first time I've ever been in here.
Oh, well, welcome.
Oh, yeah. You vote and you never come in, right? That's how you do this, right? But I want to give you a heads up at the start on this. But the thing is, I went in to pay my water bill this morning, and I was going to make arrangements to pay the bill because I'm on unemployment right now, and I caught a hold of unemployment, and I'm making
Could you state your name
$140.
and address, please?
Oh, Bridget Herron, 9, uh-oh,
Put you on the spot.
yeah, 945 South 5th. I had to stop and think of where it was. But I came in to pay the bill, and I got a hold of unemployment, and I'm making $140 a week starting next Wednesday. So I was gonna try to make arrangements with that, you know, I went out to talk to that lady, and she says, well, you gotta go in and talk to the mayor, and I said, say what? 26 years of paying bills, and this is the first time I've ever actually had to do this. And the last 5 years I've lived in Mills alone, I've never had this issue. So I was going to see if there was any way of, out of that 140, after when they take taxes out, if I can just start paying $40 a week to get everything caught up.
What's the monthly bill average?
$72 and some change.
So is that what you owe currently? Is
Oh
that-
no, I'm like, what, 160 something. but I had to wait to even apply for unemployment until yesterday, because they have that gap. So I work for Keyhole Technologies, and the winter is here, and no,
So if you pay $40 a week,
every week,
isn't it going to just get more? And then how will you
looking for a bonus check next month from Keyhole. And that'll at least get this caught up, and hopefully the electric and the gas caught up, and then I gotta talk to WCDA and see what we can do with them. So, oh yes, and when you're making 20-some an hour, and you go to these gas stations and places, oh, well, we can give you $10 an hour, oh yeah, that's really gonna help. That's like getting you kicked in the knees. So put me on a bowl or something, that'd be a lot easier.
And just for a point of clarification, so the reason why it's now needs to come for the council is because the only council can forgive or arrange debt payments, and so that's why this process.
Oh, I don't
is
want it
taking
forgiven,
place.
honey, I just wanna make sure I can make payments to get it taken care of. I don't ever wanna do that.
But that was just clarifying why
Oh,
it's no
I see.
longer just walking in the front office and they'll work with you type thing. They actually
Oh.
never had the authority to do so. It was just an oversight.
Oh, like I said, this is the first time living in Mills for the last 5 years that I've ever had to do this. So I'm like, you're 25 years of living in Casper and Mills, the last 25 years, I've never had to ask for help. And this is the first time in 25 years at the age of 61 that I've ever had to ask for help.
Yeah, I'm okay to make an arrangement. Maybe we can put a note on the account to just wait to do shut off or anything for 2-3 months.
I guess where I would be, because this is the second person within the month that's asked for payment arrangements. If,
It adds up.
yeah, if we, it needs to be like a one-time thing. Where I'm coming from is like, if we do this, and I don't want it to be like, well, and then next month we need to do more
No.
payment arrangements.
No.
Like, if
No, no, no,
it's a
no.
one-time thing, then I think.
This
I'm
little
okay
girl
with
just
that.
swallowed her pride to even come in this door.
Oh, I know, I'm sure, it's hard. I get it, for sure.
I see no reason we shouldn't work with her.
I say, because last year, I was so far ahead on payments, I didn't have to start paying my water bill until, oh my God, May. Because if you look at I always made sure there was $100 plus the bill every single month. So in the wintertime, I didn't have to worry about electric, gas, or water. And this year with the jobs going, they were kind of tanked. They weren't too good. So,
Yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll make a note on your water account.
okay, so I can come in next Thursday because it goes through on Wednesday, so Thursday I can come in and put 40, and then the following Thursday, like I said, and hopefully, because 140 minus 10% is all that's going to be coming in every week.
Yeah,
So that doesn't,
if you're comfortable with that, we'll do that.
I have no choice. So if that works for you, I will be in next Thursday with $40.
Yeah,
right.
absolutely.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, appreciate you coming.
Uh-huh.
I'll take the time. Read my notes off, sorry. At this time, do I have a motion to approve the zoning map?
I make a motion that we approve the zoning map. Wait, what's that? Yeah, that's exactly what it's called, zoning map.
Second.
How does council vote?
Aye.
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 Motion passes. Hanson deviation variance 4306 Southwest Wyoming Boulevard. I would like to ask a motion to table this so that I can have a little bit more time to review some of the items that we discussed today.
I make a motion that we table Hanson deviation variation for 306 Southwest Wyoming Boulevard for further review.
Second.
Is there any discussion? How does council, yeah, no?
No, we're fine.
How does council vote? Aye or nay?
I don't see how we can give them. When I went for my deviation, I got it where I could be within 3 foot of the line of my property. I had to contain my water on my property running off the building. So if you could go to where you could get 3 foot off the property, maybe you could get a variance on it. But I don't see how going clear to the property line, we can let you do it. And then everybody's gonna want to, of course. So, I gotta say nay.
Just for a point of clarification,
This is just-
the mayor's motion is just
Just
to
to table it
remove
for a
this from
later date.
Yeah, okay,
consideration
yes.
for this session and bring it back later.
Okay. Aye.
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 Aye. At this time, we vote, a motion to table the deviation variance has been passed. Do I have a motion to go into an executive session personnel?
Move that we go into executive session for a personnel issue.
Second.
Second.
How does council vote?
Aye.
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 Aye. Motion passes.
Okay, I heard you, but then I didn't hear you.
From an executive session personnel and all council is present.
I make a motion to convey the rejection of an offer
Second that,
In a legal matter.
in a legal matter.
and I also second that one.
How does council vote?
Aye.
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 Aye. Motion passes. Do I have a motion to go into an executive session legal matter?
So moved.
How does council vote?
Aye.
All of council has returned from an executive session legal matter, and at this time, no action is required. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
How does council vote?
Aye.
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 Aye.